with that, we are officially starting the Drop Podcast. Okay. Just one quick fix. Okay. Welcome to next episode of the Drop Podcast. Today, one second. Okay. Welcome to another episode of the Drop Podcast. Alright. Well, I hope everyone had a good week since last episode. I know I have. I finally recorded this episode with Maxine Clark. Maxine Clark of the founder of Build-A-Bear. Man, she is the coolest. She has so much going on. Such an entrepreneur spirit, and she's very she's very firm. She seems like a very strong individual, but at the same time she's sweet, I guess I would say. She knows what she wants, and she's gonna get what she wants, you know. Which is a good thing, though, I think. But she had, interesting story. It was a pretty quick, podcast, but, I think there were, like I was saying, there was, 3 really good nuggets of gold in there. And I'm thinking I'm gonna release that actually later today, because it's actually not out yet, so. Anyone who listens to the drop gets a little extra early hearings about it. Yeah. That went pretty good. She, trying to think, one of the nuggets. Well, we talked a little bit about, generations. She said, we related on the fact that, we both think it's a very valuable thing to listen to younger children. And the reason why I believe that, or why I always say that, is because younger children, they don't get enough credit for the huge leadership skills that we have to relearn. I'm sure I've talked about this before, but no hurt in talking about it again. One thing that I've found just doing these podcast episodes of How About You, my How About You podcast episodes, is that it's almost like we start off, as kids, we start off very creative, young, excited, and then as we grow up, we sort of go through a phase where we get out of that, and then we come back to it in our adult life. Or not, after we're parents, we come back to it. Actually, I heard something interesting the other day. Speaking of that, I had an incredible Father's Day. We had some family come over, and we all just sort of ate. My dad made burgers. He made burgers for us on his day. But man, it's so good. The way he makes these burgers, he sticks onions in there, chops up onions. He puts some sort of garlic salt seasoning, a few other seasonings. The garlic salt is the main thing that sticks out to me. Trying to think what else is thrown up in there. Obviously pepper and some salt. Trying trying to think what else. I don't know, I guess that's pretty much like the highlights, like the garlic salt and then the onions. But oh my gosh, they're so good. And we had pickles, we had avocados that we spread on it, lettuce. Like we had everything just all set up for us. It was incredible. But man, we just had a good day. Oh yeah, and my sister, I guess she went into some psychology course, and she was talking about the process of learning how to play for children. And one really interesting thing that she said was that, like, whenever you're a child, or whenever you're a baby, your parents are playing to you. Like, your parents are playing and you're just watching. So really, your parents are just playing by themselves. And then once you get older, you learn how to play by yourself. And then as you grow, you learn how to play with other people. And then once you get like teenage years, then you stop playing because it becomes weird, or you become uncomfortable. But then once you're an adult again, you're playing for your child. Like you're almost putting on a play for them. But I just thought it was interesting because then one thing that I noticed often in my life is that, like, we have one thing in my life that I've noticed is trying to think. Oh yeah, one thing in my life that I've noticed is that kids are very playful. And then about, I would say, once you get into middle school, then it starts getting like weird. You know what I mean? Or here, I skipped a step. So kids are very playful and creative and are able to imagine things and picture them in their minds. Once you start getting to middle school, then it starts becoming weird and you start becoming more self-conscious. But then I noticed like that even lasts throughout like adulthood and so on. But it's about once you get to, I would say, I've noticed, once you get to, well, in my experience, once I've seen adults get to like the age, say 70-ish, and that's just me trying to figure out something around, so maybe like even 60s, like then it seems like they almost or go back into like that childhood explorative, exciting stage where they use their imagination. And then if you meet a business owner, it's even earlier, where they sort of have this excitement, creativity about them even before they're 70, 80, and that's just something really cool. So that's something I've noticed, and I think that's why I respect children so much, and I make sure that I listen to them no matter what, because one, they have like the most rawest view of the world. Like they see it for what it is, and that's how they take it. Like I remember one time my dad had a tool, and it was a drill, and I noticed that it looked like the drill was growing. And so I look over to my sister, my little sister. She's a little bit stubborn, so she's a little bit different. But I told her, I was like, this isn't growing, right? And I was trying to show her that it wasn't growing, that it was staying the same, but it just looks like it is. And the whole time she was like, yes, it is growing. Just something unique that I remember. But anyway, that's besides the point, though. Yeah, so Yeah. So children have like this raw, very sense of imagination. They're able to see things. The only thing is they don't know how to plan things, I think. I would say that's where kids have a downfall. But imagine if you could keep that imagination into your teenage years. If we learned how to use our imagination to help us envision and get to some acquired goal, I think that we could potentially have a whole generation that just like shoots the world like 10 years further into the future or something like that. Like I listened to, before I did this Maxine Clark episode, I listened to, and I was going to say that relates to Maxine Clark because the whole idea of Build-A-Bear actually came from her best friend's daughter, that she became very close with, and she was taken out to the store to get Beanie Babies, and the daughter said, or they couldn't find Beanie Babies anywhere, and so the daughter got a little bit upset about it, and she was like, we could just make these at home. And to her, I mean, that was just a creative idea, you know what I mean? Just a innocent, expression of how she felt. And to Maxine Clark, she was like, you know what? We can take this idea and do this at home. And that's whenever Build-A-Bear, she said that she built Build-A-Bear, I think she said almost like, was it 6 months? I don't know. Like, she said it was really quick though. You'll hear it in my podcast. She says, like, she got the idea in like October. Said like she started in January, February or something. But I don't know. Very impressive. And she said she had no doubts in her mind that it was gonna be successful. She said she was the top of her marketing class in college. And even more impressive, her mom worked with President Roosevelt's wife and I wish I knew the name, because I feel like I almost feel bad because she did. I feel like people don't give enough credit to our president's wives or our vice presidents even. Well, actually, I don't know about vice presidents, but to presidents' wives, like, or at least Roosevelt's wife, like I think it was Rosie Roosevelt or something. I don't know, but go look her up. She did a lot of work with the I think the mental illness community. I'm not super educated. One thing that's even cooler is so Maxine Clark's mom got to work with that woman, and she was I forgot what it's called, a stephographer, something like that. Was her job. You probably know what I'm talking about. I just sound stupid trying to figure out what it is, but you know what I'm talking about. I mean, super cool. And then, shoot, I was on to a point and then I completely forgot. I got sidetracked and then got lost. I guess, oh yeah, well, I was just saying, like, I guess we relate right there. Oh yeah, and her mom, yeah, I was just saying how cool her mom was. Oh yeah, and then after her mom got to work with I don't want to mess up the name, with Roosevelt's wife, with Miss Roosevelt, she then got connected with LBJ's mom. who I'm not sure what her work with LGBT is. L, uh, shoot, the following president's mom was, but I know she worked a lot with, like, I know her big thing, besides just activism for, like, civil rights and everything, her big thing was, children, she didn't say, I forgot, it's not mentally challenged, but, or not, shoot, it was, like, not mentally challenged, but, mentally gifted in other ways, or whatever, something of that sort, which, I don't know, I like that definition, because I don't believe that anyone in modern society should be, or in modern United States, has really an excuse to be held back anymore. I mean, obviously some people have more challenges, but, you know, I love that perspective because it's like, don't give up. You know what I mean? Like, despite, you know, the fact that you aren't like everyone else, where can you make the biggest difference? And I saw this, I was doing this live training with, Dean Graziosi. They did the Start Over Challenge, and they played this video of this, entrepreneur, mentally challenged, or I think he was. I'm not really sure. He was in a wheelchair and he talked different, but, and I think he was born. He described it, but, I mean, I was just so blown away by his accomplishments. Like, I forgot whatever it was that he had. But it was neat, and I forgot, like, I think he wrote a book or something, but I know he's some kind of athlete, something of that sort. It was just always good to see, like, people with, untypical lives who might have disadvantages turn that disadvantage into a story. Dean Graziosi says a mess into a message. And succeed from selling that wisdom of their experience. Tony Robbins says, I'm trying to think, what his exact words were, because they're so incredible. He said, oh, shoot, I can't think of it. Oh, man, it was so good. Oh, man, Tony Robbins just has such incredible, wisdom. Oh, this is what it was. He said, we aren't living, he was talking about the knowledge industry, and he was saying, the information age died a while ago. Now we have an influx, or an overflow of wisdom. Now what we're doing, too much information. And he described that, he was like, because, like, your phone, you know, the news, everything, all day, every day, is just, like, filling you up with, it's giving you information, and, now what people are looking for is wisdom. Man, like, that just stuck with me. Like, I heard that, I was like, oh, shoot, like, wisdom, wow. Because I would have thought, like, oh, yeah, we're in the information age, you know, the technology, the, so on. And I guess you could argue, like, we're not necessarily in the technology age anymore. Because I guess you could argue, like, that was, like, the Industrial Revolution or whatever. Maybe I would say, like, that's the industrious age. But, I don't know, I mean, lots of good stuff, though, man, like, I don't know. I guess, I don't know, go check out Dean Graziosi, man. He's cool, but Tony Robbins, like, everyone, if you don't know Tony Robbins, go do yourself a favor and look up Tony Robbins. And I'm dead serious, like, do yourself a favor and look up Tony Robbins. It'll probably be one of the best things that you do for yourself. just in all the techniques of refocusing, because I always say, like, there's two parts of success, you know what I mean? And I feel like success is fulfillment, and I feel like part of fulfillment is having control over yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like, part of fulfillment is being able to control how you feel, your emotions, because fulfillment is being content. But in order to be content, you can't be pissed off whenever someone calls you ugly. You know what I mean? Like, you can't let small stuff make you angry and frustrated. And I mean, you can be angry. Like, one part of it is, okay, how do you turn your energy into action? So, like, how can you take that anger and make it beneficial? I know if you read Think and Grow Rich, which is a really good book, you definitely should read it. But if you read Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about sexual energy, which I assume is like, I sort of took it as like, flirty type of, you know what I mean? Flirty type of attitude. Which I don't know if that's what he meant or what he was going for. That's sort of how I took it, and I feel like it made sense to me because, ever since then, I've always struggled with enthusiasm. I think I was talking about, like, enthusiasm or something. I've always struggled because, like, I never wanted to be, like, too, because I'm in a very committed relationship, and I want to respect my relationship, and so I never wanted to be too, like, touchy with anybody or too close with anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I want to respect my relationship. After I heard that, like, you know what I mean? Be in control, but you can use that to your advantage, just to make relationships, connect with friendships, make friendships, connect with people. Like, use your enthusiasm, your sexual energy, as he said, as a superpower that'll, because, I mean, like, one huge part of life is building connections with people. And people like a certain type of energy, you know what I mean? And it makes sense because people feel better in that certain type of energy. Like, it always confuses me whenever people say, oh, just let me be. Because I can't. Like, don't you feel bad? Like, don't you not feel positive? Like, if you're cursing and you're upset. Now, alright, that being said, I've seen people, like, curse and happy. You know what I mean? Like, that's not necessarily what I mean. But whenever you're just, like, angry and you're not happy, why would you want to stay in that state? And they say, I'm fine. I'm living my life just fine. But you're out of control. You know what I mean? Like, if someone says something and pisses you off and you yell about it and then you say, I'm fine. I mean, it's not like you're gonna die or anything. But it is sort of silly to think, like, why would you want to stay in that mind state? Like, why wouldn't you want to work to get out of there? Or learn how to get out of that type of, or lose that kind of energy. You know what I mean? And be able to focus and have clarity in your thoughts on things that you, that will be beneficial for you. I don't know. I mean, I guess people just kind of have to see it for themselves. And that's one of the challenges. Like, how do I get people to see that their life can be better? And it's up to them to choose it. You know what I mean? Keith Newber, one of my mentors, he wrote a book called If You're Not Having Fun... Or he said, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. The Art of Perspective Management. And... he's a really incredible guy. He is a psychologist, a speaker, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, like, he overall, I mean, he went to college and got his degree, but then took that degree and made it into much more. And I respect that so much. But one of his things, like, one of his big messages, and he's actually starting a blog soon, which I'm super excited about. Because it's gonna be like, that's what it's gonna be about, like everyday situations that you can reframe in your mind to turn them into positive situations, or have a positive perspective on these events. But his whole thing is like, you know, you don't need to give people advice. People will figure it out. People aren't looking for a step-by-step thing to follow. You know what I mean? People don't want information. People want wisdom. Wisdom knowing that they can choose. He says the best thing that you can do for someone is help them understand that they can decide for themselves what kind of life they're gonna have. You know what I mean? And that really connected with me because, you know, I feel like so often I see, you know, whenever people are depressed, like, people wanna cover them and show them all this love. All you have to do is sit there, listen. Whenever you can, let them know that they can choose, that they have a choice. You know what I mean? It was really inspiring to me whenever he said that. And that's something that I've tried to sort of apply to myself. Like, I have no business telling people what they should and should not do. As far as, like, if they're coming to me. Like, if you're coming to me to get, you know what I mean, information, and you're gonna take my experience and turn it into action, like, I'm gonna, you know what I mean, I'm gonna tell you, like, oh, you know what I mean, this is what I do, you know what I mean, I'm not gonna say, like, oh, you all have to do it, you know what I mean, I'm just saying, this is what I do, this is why I do it, it's beneficial because of this, yeah, but, I mean, that's as far as I'll really go, you know what I mean, and that's as far as I'm happy to go. Like, I feel like that's, you know what I mean, to me, it's more important to get people in a place where they can be leaders of themselves than me, the leader of everyone else, you know what I mean, and the way I see it, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I have this sort of motto. I have two sort of things that I always say. I used to have three, but I couldn't remember what the last one is. So I assumed that it just wasn't that big of a deal. But I have two things that I say. I say let them, and then I say chazak ve'matz, which chazak ve'matz is Hebrew or something like that. It's in the Bible. Which it's what happened whenever, I guess, Abraham or Moses. I probably sound so dumb. Oh, it was Moses. Yeah, Moses. It's been a minute. But Moses said to Joshua before he died, he said, Chazak ve'matz, be strong and have good courage. And I just feel like I connected with that a lot because, I mean, like, his name is Joshua and my name is Joshua. So, I mean, that was one. And I felt like that was, like, one thing, like, that I struggle with, you know, having courage and strength. I mean, being strong physically, like, I've always worked out and exercised. But being strong mentally is something that I've always struggled with. You know, because I'm a very passive individual, and I don't want to shake the waters too much. Like, I just want everyone to be happy, everyone to be content, and that's it. Like, I don't want anyone to be hurt or struggle. I just wish everyone could just live a life of peace, you know? But sometimes it's just not like that. And that's something that I have to deal with, you know. Shoot, I got way off track. I think what I was trying to say was that, you know, most of the time people like, it's not having to do with the, like, people need to help themselves, is basically what I'm trying to get at. Because sometimes you just can't help people, or sometimes you can try. It's not going to work, because all people are going to want to do is, all people are really going to want to do is I have to really think about this. Sometimes people just want the attention of it, and it's better to share lessons that people are going to be able to take with them, rather than try and give people advice and give them attention, what they really want, that they're going to enjoy for that moment, but in later on is not going to help them out very well. You know what I mean? And will actually be doing them a disservice, because you're not giving them value to take with them. You're just feeding into what they think they want at this moment. Their desire for attention, or desire for, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, then again, like, I realize, like, that is also one of the hardest things to do. You know what I mean? Like, how do you expect to, teach someone how to desire something for themselves? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not a very plausible thing, I think. But I don't know. I mean, that's just some of my thoughts, I guess, on that matter. But that's something I'm trying to do. I'm trying to turn the world into leaders, That's my goal, my ultimate. I don't know if I've brought this up before, but I've been working on a project of, let's see, what is it? I was not ready for this. A project, I've been writing and sort of trying to make, like, a curriculum, you know what I mean? Oh, shoot, I wanted to talk about something, but I completely forgot. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been working on the project of leadership, and, oh yeah, which brings me back to the kids, the children. Kids have, like, such a powerful use of their imagination and envisioning, and then it's just being able to take that vision into action where I think kids struggle. That's where me and Maxine Clark related. I'm trying to think. There was something I wanted to bring up, like something I was thinking about, and I was like, oh yeah. Shoot. It was really good, but I don't know. If it's not there, it's not there. It's cool. Yikes. What? Okay. Most certainly distracted, and I will not even lie. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm about coming to a close with this episode. Man, time flies. I didn't even realize. I just checked the time, and it's already 10:21. I've been thinking, like, maybe I should do 2 of these a week. Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about, or what I wanted to let you guys know. I'm starting a new job, so I'm not sure if that will affect my timing as far as, like, when I'm going to be able to release these. Well, I know, like, this I'm not going to be able to do in the morning, which is a bummer because I absolutely love the morning. Either that or I'm going to have to change the date because I think with this new job, most of the time I don't work, weekends. So that's a good thing. So that way, I mean, Wednesday release dates for the drop episodes aren't going to be a problem at all. I might release it, like, it probably won't be in the morning, because I usually release it, like, I'll wake up in the morning, I'll do a little bit of editing if I haven't already done the editing, and then I'll release the episode, and it'll be about, like, 11 or 12 o'clock. That was dumb. But now it'll probably be later because I'm going to be working 6 to 2. So probably thinking, I mean, like I said, I mean, it'll be fine. It'll just be, like, the only thing I'm really concerned about is the live stream, when I'm going to be able to do that. Because I like to do it in the morning because I'm, like, refreshed and able to concentrate better. It was, like, during the day, like, I don't know what it is. I get so tired around 2 or 3 o'clock, especially if I haven't taken a nap yet. Like, I usually take a nap during the day. And if I'm coming home from work, and then I'm going to have to, like, figure my stuff out, you know what I mean? Like, if I come home from work and then I have to go straight into trying to do this, it's just a difficult thing to do. But, I mean, it'll be alright. Like I said, I mean, I'm gonna be, like, I might just change these to Saturday mornings. But, I mean, that should be the only change. Still Sunday release episodes and Wednesday. I just liked Monday because it was a good way to, like, start the week, you know. So I might do something else for Monday, like something where I can just release. I know I actually have this one little thing that I had going that I just forgot. That I just forgot to to do. Well, like, I made it, and it's like thank you letters to my leaders. That's what I call it, because it's me saying thank you for, like, all the lessons I've learned and stuff. Shoot, I can't start another conversation. I need to end it here. Well, so I'm gonna just go ahead and say, well, thank you letters for my teachers is coming up. For my leaders is coming up. But for now, I'm going to call it right here. Thank you for watching. Also, make sure that you check out go follow me on Instagram. I'll have to put a link to that in the description at some point. But right now, in my description, as you can see, I have TheLeafDesigner, which is my clothing line where I do, like, designs, and it's all, like, simple, elegant, and natural. Everything is inspired. Like, I want a natural sort of leafy look, little fresh green look to it. Simple designs, you know what I mean? And they're kind of cool. Like, I like all the designs I've done so far. I mean, you can go check it out. The stuff's, I mean, nothing. Like, a shirt is about, like, $20 to $30, I think, but it's worth it. I have one that you can see that I've worn. I also have my music coming soon. I might release one of my songs this week. I know I said I was gonna do it this week, but like nothing was like a debut thing or like a coming out thing. Like, this is me, you know what I mean? But I'm excited about it. It's on its way. I think You guys are gonna enjoy it. But also, I have my How About You podcast and then the Drop podcast, which is basically this. So, but yeah, definitely check that out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, check out my podcasts, check me out, support, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will check you next Monday for the next episode of Pokemon FireRed or the Drop Podcast, depending on where you are watching. Thanks for watching, and I'll check you later.